right, everybody. This is Ryan from AMS. We got Fred from Peavey here. He's going to walk us through, among other things, the return of, you guys are making pedals.
Yeah, we're making pedals.
Let's see them.
So let's start with
let's start the amp. Okay.
Yeah, let's start with the amp because that kind of leads us into why we're doing pedals.
Let her grip.
But we're super excited, NAMM 2025, to introduce the Homme Signature Decade 2. Now, Decade came out in the 80s and originally was just a practice amp, right, that we had made, and it actually turned into the Rage, which is one of the most popular amps of all time.
Right.
But, why did it become famous? Well, somebody was asking Josh, from Queens of the Stone Age, what the secret to his tone was.
Right.
And he's the guy that never did a rig rundown or a gear review or any of that kind of stuff. And lo and behold, in this YouTube video, he goes behind the and pulls out an old Peavey Decade. And the internet blew up, right? So all of a sudden, Decades are going for $800 to $1,000. And we're like, what is going on here, So we decided to reach out to him and said, hey, we would love to go back and revisit that piece of nostalgia. And he says, man, I love it. It's a great amp. This is the sound of Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah.
And so we decided to reintroduce it as the Homme Decade 2 with a few improvements. So it's the same amp it was, but we've added a couple extra tone controls. So it's got a bass boost on it, it's got a top end boost, and a foot swishable saturation distortion.
Okay.
And in addition to that, on the back of it, it's got a transformer balanced DI output.
Okay.
So for stages, recording, and ironically, he's actually used it on some very big stages. There was a benefit that they were doing with Dave Grohl and a bunch of other guys.
Yeah.
And the back line was 3 of these on stools, literally with microphones in front of them. Totally awesome.
Yeah, it is.
So we also added this extension cabinet.
Yeah, it's sharp.
Yeah, with the stand.
Yeah, it looks great.
So that you can get a much bigger sound with it, and also it just looks cool.
It really does.
But then when you were asking me about pedals, well, the first thing was we got to do the Decade 2 pedal, right? Because that's basically the sound of Queens of the Stone Age and this amplifier in a pedal.
Sense. Right.
So from there, we thought, well, we don't really want to be in the pedal business. Why would Peavey be in the pedal business? We haven't done that for years.
Right.
And we thought, well, what can we do differently than everybody else? Preamps.
Right.
So we have some very, very famous tones going way back to 1965 when we started this.
That's unbelievable. It's been that long.
60th anniversary this year under the same owner, Hartley Peavey. We're celebrating here at NAMM.
All right.
6 decades, get it?
It's pretty monumentous.
Six decades. Get it?
You can drop the mic.
Yeah. So we decided that there was some famous pedals and preamps that we've done in the past. The Rockmaster, obviously the Bandit. Everybody knows the Bandit Supreme. There's a whole bunch of death metal bands.
I love
that were used.
It's a great amp.
Great amp. Then the VTM. The VTM was a amplifier that was huge in the 80s. In fact, Adrian Vanderburg toured with VTMs when he was with Whitesnake, the biggest band in the world at the time.
I remember it well.
Yeah, so we brought the VTM back, and then we brought back the Session 400, which is designed for pedal steel players. It's a small market, but Peavey's always supported it, and it's always been a big thing for us in Nashville. So we're excited to include that in the pedal
And who
line.
knows, that could be someone else's secret weapon down the road.
Well, actually, it's great for anything clean.
Yeah.
It's clean and a lot of headroom, whether it's acoustic or bass or whatever you want to plug into that needs to be a nice, clean headroom with the EQ. That's
and as is often the case with Peavey too, they're really rugged, and I love the aesthetics of it. I mean, that looks like my old Bandit.
Absolutely, they're designed. Knobs and everything are
Yeah.
designed to look and feel like the old circuits, and they are the old circuits.
No, it's great.
It's because it's not an imitation of what Peavey has done. It is what Peavey has done all these years.
At that point, if you're going to do the one pedal, you might as well do the line. It makes a lot of sense. Inject a little Peavey into your rig.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
we're super excited.
Yeah, as you should be.
Yeah,
that's very cool. All right, Fred, take it away.
So this is the Super Festival. The original Super Festival was made in the 70s. Big old giant head about this big, weighed 600 pounds, and it was
the 70s.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome. But, fast forward 20-some, 30-some years later, actually 60 years when we're talking right now, but, that seems crazy to even say. But 50 years later, there was a whole bunch of underground-type bands, and the bass players were using this distorted sound.
Right.
And it turns out that sound was the old Super Festival. And so we listen to our customers, right? And people say, they said, wouldn't it be great if somebody made that again that wasn't 6 million pounds, now somebody could actually carry around.
Right.
So we took the exact preamp that we had made back in the 70s, knobs, graphics, and everything.
Yeah, man.
And we shrunk it down and we but 6 times the power of the original
and
in
it's
this.
light.
So it's 1,200 watts of power RMS.
Okay.
I mean, it will make your ears bleed. And it growls like no other bass amp on the planet. But then we added all the modern features that somebody would like on the back of it.
Got it.
So it's the real vintage preamp, but we've added USB mic and cab simulated recording output, direct outs, of course, that are mic and cab simulated. We've got effects loops built into it, DI headphone outputs, everything that somebody would need from a modern stage. Preamp, power amp in, so you can slave multiple units if you're a pro guy and playing on a very big stage. And then we added a 610 cabinet.
Of course.
Everybody likes the sound of an 810 cabinet, but nobody can put it in their car anymore. I don't know anybody with a big old van.
Nope.
So this actually fits in the back of most SUVs, sounds like an 810, it's got wheels on the back of it, and it's actually pretty light.
Okay.
So we're really excited to reintroduce this. If you're a bass player, you need to hear this because nothing sounds anything like it.
Yeah, man, it looks awesome. And as usual, built like a tank.
Built like a tank.
Yep, awesome. So tell us a bit about these Adrian Vanderburg electric guitars.
Well, as I'm a child of the 80s and 90s, right?
Sure.
I always loved this particular guitar. That's a personal nostalgia with Peavey, and I think it was one of the best instruments we've ever made.
For sure.
It's got that really cool set neck design, access all the way up the neck, really, really easy to play. And obviously, it's iconic Peavey design. These little fiddle cutouts designed to look like a violin. Actually,
and that headstock, too, was amazing, yeah.
So I wanted to come out with a guitar again that was iconically Peavey. And I wanted to make sure that we did it with Adrian. And Adrian was going back on tour, ironically, at about the same time with Vandenberg.
Right.
And now he's doing a Vandenberg White Snake tribute thing on tour right now. And he thought, man, this is the perfect time to bring this guitar back. So we made a few improvements. The original Vandenberg, I remember, had the Kaler Spider trem on it.
Right.
That it's just can't get it anymore. So we did the Floyd Rose on it. This is the original Floyd Rose, top of the line.
Right.
We've got Duncan pickups in it, which is our Jeff Beck's.
Okay.
There's no tone on a Vandenberg, never has been. So you've got the volume, and you've got a splitter here for both of the pickups. And of course, the Vandenberg inlays.
Right.
So this is all mahogany back and neck with a maple cap, and it sounds fantastic, plays fantastic, and we're very proud to be selling Adrian's guitar
As
again.
you should be, man. A straight up rock machine. And it's a little dark in here, but when the light hits that top, man, I bet it's something else.
Oh, it is absolutely beautiful guitar.
So as exciting as it is, when are these coming out?
Hey, these are available now.
Now. Get it at AMS. So obviously we'd be remiss if we didn't check out some bass stuff for our bass playing friends. And this is an iconic bass, so it's worth mentioning.
Bass.
It really is.
Yeah, I have a lot of passion for our bass gear because I'm a bass player.
Oh, okay.
At least I purport to be. I'm not that good, really. But the Cirrus bass was one of the most iconic instruments we had ever made. And we were interested in bringing it back. And we found the exact right partners to manufacture this instrument again over in the Czech Republic, and we're super excited about it.
That's great.
But what we did is we wanted to recreate what was really good about the original Cirrus bass, but then make some improvements to it. So the first thing we did, we're using VFL pickups just like we did back in the day. And most people don't know what that means, but it's called vertical flux load. But what essentially it is the magnets in the pickup are orientated horizontally instead of vertically.
Oh, okay.
Most pickups have vertical magnets on them. These magnets are horizontal with the poles in between them. And what that does is creates a wider magnetic field than you would find on a typical pickup. And obviously, when you have a wider magnetic field, you're going to get a better response from the vibrations of, obviously, the wider vibrations of the string.
Right.
So the original Cirrus pickups came in a form factor that was unique to the Cirrus. So if you ever wanted to change the pickup, it's like if you had your own special, you couldn't do it.
Right.
So we decided to make that very cool and unique VFL pickup in a standard soap bar size. So if there was that weird guy that just didn't like VFL, and I don't know why you wouldn't, because it's the best pickup in the world. But if
you're a little biased.
A little biased, maybe a little bit. But if you did want to put your own favorite pickup in it, now you can.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's an 18-volt system as well that we're using in here.
A lot of headroom, yeah.
Plenty of headroom. All basses should be like that, in my opinion. But taking a look at the construction, it's basically the same as what we've done before, the 7-piece neck through body design.
Amazing.
Purple Heart stringers, that's obviously the densest wood that you can get. it adds to the stability of the neck.
I was going to say you almost don't need a truss rod at that point.
Well, and we do have a truss rod, but to add rigidity, this carbon fiber up here isn't just for show. There are 2 carbon fiber protrusions that go on either side of the truss rod through the neck to increase and enhance the stability of it as well.
Wow.
So in addition to that, we decided there's no plastic on a high-end guitar. It should not be. I mean, so
Amen.
All of these are wooden pickguard, wooden covers. These are not wood screws. They are machine screws into tapped inserts and all of these.
Yeah, the fit and finish on that is like
even the truss rod
tight.
cover is wood.
That's great.
So we've taken care of all the details to make sure that this is the best instrument we can possibly make. And of course, it's still 35-inch scale, which made the Cirrus famous to begin with.
And these are available now?
Next week.
Next
Available
week.
now. Yeah.
Love that.
Yep. Getting excited.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time, as always. And if you guys want to check out any of the Peavey products we checked out here, come see us at AmericanMusical.com.